would actually get used to it, and would actually scale through. Yeah. So welcome on board once again. We have a couple of people joining us. So believe you me, let's get started and let's have a jolly ride, right? All right. Now, pardon me, I didn't know the audio wasn't actually recording at a whole lot of time. So let's continue real quick. So, like I was saying, for today, we'll be having a couple of news coming out the from the markets. So we have first off, that's the CPI, flash CPI coming out from the European zone. Then the core CPI also from the European zone at exactly 10 o'clock this morning. So it gets interesting right from 10 o'clock. Then President Lagarde should be speaking by 10:30 a.m. That's exactly from the European zone as well. So if you're the type who trade European peers, then this is a good time to actually look out for what's happening in Europe and take action as we get that. Though we would actually be analyzing a whole lot of that as time goes on, right? So by 1:15, ADP non-farm employment change would also be released. This is a major impact news for the US. It actually moves the market like really fast. Then by 1:30 as well, unemployment claims will be released as well. So from 1:15 up until 3 p.m., it's an interesting time to actually be on the lookout if you're a fundamental trader. It's a good time to actually look out for what's happening from the USD and take advantage of whatever will be coming out of that economy for today. So by 6 p.m. also, we have FOMC member Aka. We will probably continue his speech from what he actually said yesterday, right? So now let's dive right into what the market outlook could possibly be looking like, so we can actually take advantage of almost all these things I've mentioned so far. Let's go real quick into that. All right, first off, the first thing I actually tell most people to look out for, because majorly most of these instruments are actually being quoted in US dollars. So you should try as much as possible, have an idea of what the dollar is looking like, with the strength, if it's losing some strength, if it's gaining some strength, have an idea of what's happening in the market generally before you can take any action in the market. So first off, I'll be looking at this morning is the strength of the US dollar using the USD IDX, that's the US dollar index. Right. So for this morning, to be honest, right from yesterday, US dollar index seems like it was stronger. Yes, from what the outlook of what we can see here from this particular candle represented or is representing what happened throughout the whole of yesterday, right? So it was a bullish candle, but there was some strength by the bears that actually pushed market prices downwards. But for today, looking at the opening of this market this morning, you seem like there's been some sort of strength that has gathered earlier part of today. So I think moving forward, if I were you, I'll be looking out for anything that has to be in favor of the US dollar. And the reason is not far-fetched. Price at it a support, then trying as much as possible to actually push away from that support before price probably settles for another new high at that verified resistance. But that being said, let's have an idea possibly of what happened with Forex Factory and what we should be expecting majorly. So for yesterday, you see that European stocks market are expected this morning actually. European stocks are expected to actually open higher, helped with the progress from the US debt ceiling. So I think yesterday, the US debt ceiling bill for the debt ceiling in the US to be increased. That means for the government to actually borrow more. Yes, I think it has actually passed its first reading. Yes, I think better part of last week, or yes, last week, there was still some level of uncertainty as regards what would happen as regards the debt ceiling. But as it stands now, it seems that the debt ceiling would likely be passing through. So since it actually gone through its first reading, let's see what happens before the end of today. So there has been some data that was released earlier indicating that Chinese manufacturing activity grew more than expected in May, right? So since that is a very good or positive thing to actually look out for. So if I were you, if you're the type who trades the Japanese economy or the Asian economy, you should also be on the lookout for some good news or from bullish runs around that particular zone. Then also back in Europe, the German retail sales actually grew 0.8% in the month of April from the data that was released yesterday, an improvement on the 2.4% drop in March. That's the previous month, which represented, or but still represented, an annual fall of 4.3%. Like I was saying earlier, with what we saw on Forex Factory. Yes, there's been some sort of mixed reaction as regards what the German economy is doing, but there's still some level of progress. Yes, let's put it that way. But however, the main focus for today will actually be on the inflation numbers for the Eurozone. And I'm sure a whole lot of us know that German economy itself actually declared that they are officially in recession. Looking back at the data so if your inflation data has actually been released 3 times back to back and it's been negative, so it's safe to say that your economy is actually in recession at that particular point in time. So majorly, I think that's what is affecting the euro zone. And for oil, oil prices actually reversed earlier losses after positive private survey of the Chinese manufacturing activity offered hope. So meaning the reason why we actually saw some level of push up in oil was the fact that there was a positive report that China itself, China should be the biggest importers of oil. Yes, because they actually have the biggest or the world's, they are the largest economy as it stands. So for them to actually release a very good level of manufacturing data, it means production has actually improved in the Asian economy, which to a great extent actually made oil prices higher. So demand for oil increased, which is normal, and prices of oil would actually surge a little bit going forward. Right. Now, let's move on real quick. Back to our chart. Having all of the data that I just read out now, to a good extent, you can actually say the US seems like they're actually recovering a great deal from what has actually been happening as regards the debt ceiling. Since they now have a clearer direction of what the debt ceiling is likely going to look like, then it's a great time for you to actually look out for what's happening in the US. So if that is the case, if I were you, I would have actually started trading USD as it stands for a buy. Yes, it's looking like it's going to push up and probably test this verified resistance. But if you're the type who still wants to wait, yeah, you're Yoruba man and you still want to be sure of where the direction of things are going, because I know Yorubas are quite conservative, and most of us, yes, because I'm Yoruba, I'm quite conservative as well. I don't take any risk. If I'm going to be taking any risk, it has to be very calculated, right? But in this market, if you don't take risk, it's a risk on itself. That's how interesting it is. If you don't take risk in this market, it's a risk by itself. So if I were you and I want to trade in this market, I would enter USD IDX with an instant execution and take my profit before price gets to this verified support, right? Around this price level before it gets there. But if I'm going to be waiting and I want to probably set stop orders on this instrument, I'll wait until price breaks back into this zone. So anywhere from price level, yes, anywhere from price level 104.120 down up until let's say, let me look at that real quick. Down up until price level 103. Let me push it up a little bit so you still be in the zone of where price retraced from yesterday. All right. So down to the zone of right from here, that's 104.120 down to 103.815. Anywhere within this zone will be a very good way to buy. So the ideal thing to actually do in the market is wait until price gets a little bit lower than what it is, then starts buying from there, because you're expected to buy low, then sell when price gets high, right? You buy low, then you sell when prices are high. But in this case, yes, you'd probably be waiting until price retraces back down and test this verified support. But I will advise enter as an instant execution, take your profit before it gets to this verified resistance. So if you're going to be waiting for a sell or a buy order, wait until price retraces back down. Yes, it could be a very good idea, but why not take it heads on? Yes, right immediately as price is moving, you take advantage of what price is doing at this point in time, then take your profit before it gets to 104.609. Right? All right. All right. Moving on quickly. Let's move on real quick. Now to Euro USD, like I was mentioning, the Eurozone generally has declared recession. And the reason why the Eurozone declared recession is because the biggest economy in Europe is actually the German economy. And if the German economy is doing badly, um, the Eurozone at large would actually be suffering from that as well. And if you look back over a good period of time, you'd actually notice there's been a sell-off on Euro USD at this point in time. Reasons being the declaration of recession from the European economy. This is my daily chart, right? So right from somewhere since the beginning of last month, that's since the beginning of May, throughout the whole month of May, there was a sell-off on Euro USD. Yes. So if you are the type who is a long-term trader and you have probably placed a trade right from the beginning of May up until the end of May, you've actually made a whole lot of money from Euro USD. But irrespective of that, as a retail trader, you want to take advantage of daily movement, isn't it? Right. For the sake of daily traders, yesterday was a good sell for Euro USD. Yes. Looking at this is also my daily time frame. Let me zoom in so we can actually see what I'm explaining in real time. Right. So this was the reaction of the whole of yesterday's candle. It was a very bearish day for the euro dollar pair. Now, moving back into what we have on the 1 hour chart, you notice something. The sell-off is still likely going to continue for today, being that prices are creating lower lows, right? So, and if prices continue to create lower lows in this instance, it means that there is an established downtrend. If you look at it right from let me just draw a trend line. Let's say from here, there's been constant sell-off on this instrument constantly. Let me adjust this. Okay. Right from here. So let me shift this. So the thing is, for this pair as it stands now, we might still likely to experience more sell-offs. Yes. We might still likely to experience more sell-off on Euro USD. So if you're the type trading in this instrument, look out for more sells at this point in time. So I would say even right from what we have here, right from what is happening on the chart, you can start selling Euro USD even as I speak. Yes, start selling Euro USD as I speak. Then you could possibly take your profit before it even gets to where price retraced from yesterday at around price level 1.06422. 1.06422 at that point in time. But if you want to follow the retracement and wait until probably maybe price cross back into the zone, or probably test this verified resistance. Let me pick that. So if you're looking at price testing this verified resistance and probably pushing a little bit higher towards this trend line, then this zone should be where you should be selling off from. So your sell-off zone, your sell zone should be this yellow zone. Are you with me? So taking it from price level 1.07135, 1.07135, sell onto the to sell into the sell zone should be between that price level, which is here, up until the current market price. So meaning you can actually start selling from now, then take your profit before it gets to 1.06422. We expect further sales. So if you're the type who still feel like, oh fine, since this price is still slowing down a little bit, you can continue to sell even if price breaks below this verified support. After price breaks below this verified support, you can still continue to sell further and still make some good money from Euro USD. And for the fact that the US is having some clear direction as regards their debt ceiling bill, then I think the Eurozone will probably still suffer more from what is happening in the market generally. So Euro USD, a good sell at this point in time, is very, very advisable. Yes, that is advisable at this point in time. Now, moving on, let's look at GBP USD. I think the Great Britain, a little bit to a great extent, is defying the orders of the USD. And let me just have let's have a good look at what is happening in that zone. Right. Price has actually hit a verified resistance earlier this morning from the Great British zone. That's the pounds as it stands, right? And I'm sure to a great extent, if you're going to be doing anything as regards this instrument, advisably, you should also be selling. Reason being that price had not done a 50% retracement just yet. Yes. If your price will be doing 50% retracement, it means price needs to get towards this place a little. Or from what we've experienced so far, even if that retracement is going to be anything to go by, then price should be getting towards this level. So if I were you, I'll probably start selling GBP USD up onto this place. First off, yes, start selling you GBP USD up until where I marked, which is price level 1.23857. You can actually start selling up until that level, meaning you can take your profit around that. So your take profit level or your yes, your take profit level could be anywhere within this zone, anywhere within this zone. So your first take profit should probably be here. Then anywhere further down, you can continue to take profit in this yellow zone. Continue to take profit in this yellow zone. So you can decide to leave your own to read up until 1.23725, or you can even decide to allow your own to read as much as 1.23540. So, but anywhere within this zone, starting from where my red line is, start taking your profit on GBP USD for a sell-off on that beautiful instrument. Are we together? All right. And from all indications of the analysis we've been doing, you can actually sense the fact that the US dollar has actually gained a whole lot of big strength against major currencies, right? So if you're the type who is tried or still skeptical about what to do, this is the direction of the market. USD is having a whole lot of strength. And you can even tell from the currency strength meter that USD has some strength. Let me quickly look at that real quick so we can see. So you can see the USD is actually 73% stronger than the GBP at this point in time, which is just gaining a strength of 10%. So if I were you, why are you wasting time? Time is of the essence. Take action as fast as possible and make your money. Are we together? All right. So moving real quick into USD CAD. Moving real quick into USD CAD. And I think the direction of the market for today is quite very precise. Let me put it that way. Price has gotten to a zone. This is a whole lot of support here that price at it. And if you notice something, anytime price hits this support, there's a little bit of retracement, the same thing, a little bit of retracement. It tried breaking the support, but you can see the candle reactions around this area. There was there was testing and retesting and testing and retesting over and over again until price got to a directional level. Then we are seeing some movement. Now, at this point in time, you can actually say this is an hammer at a support with this formation, with the formation of this candle. This is an hammer. This is one. This is confirmed by a bullish candle. This is the first hammer, isn't it? At a support, confirmed by a bullish candle, then price is still pushing up. This is another hammer here. So what we just need to wait for is this candle to close in another how many minutes now? This candle should be closing in another 30 minutes. And I'm sure there's a whole lot of movement. So if this candle closes in another 30 minutes, the way it is, then you're sure of USD CAD still continuing to push up. And for it to still continue to push up, it should still do a good level of 50% of this sell-off. So if I were you, my first take profit, if I'm buying USD CAD, will be here, somewhere around this zone. Then I'll continue to take that profit up until this zone. I'll continue to take that profit up until this zone. So anywhere within price level 1.36120 till 1.36500. Yes, you can decide to take your profit anywhere within the zone. Anywhere within this zone. So yours could be 1.3612. Another person who could be 1.36185. Another person who could be 1.36290. Anywhere here, start taking your profit on your buy trades if you've started buying USD CAD. Are we together? All right. So most of the analysis is being done on 1 hour time frame. So you can actually have a good look at what's happening each hour on the chart. Right. Now, another instrument I would want us to actually look at is USD JPY. And that's because the Chinese economy seems to be having some good level of strength. Though USD is still gaining a whole lot of strength as against JPY. Right. So from all indications here, JPY had done probably more than 50% of the retracement that we are seeing on this chart. Let me quickly add my Fibonacci to this chart so we can see what I'm talking about real quick. So, right. So if you're saying 50%, it means that price are actually done from this sell-off, that we had yesterday. Price has done more than 50% of what is happening at this point in time. So, and the next best retracement level at this point is the 38.2 retracement, which price is actually approaching or it actually tested earlier today. So if price breaks above this retest, this 38.2, I'll probably continue to buy up until this proven resistance, take my profit at 23.6, which is exactly price level 140.300. 140, that's 140.300. That's if price breaks above this 38.2, I'll continue to buy. That's what I'm saying. But if price doesn't, yeah, this is what I would do. I'll just follow. If price Hello? So sorry. All right. So let's move real quick. Really sorry for the technical issues. It's the situation of the country we are in. So network is bound to mess up at any point in time. All right. So from what I was saying the earlier before the network went off, um, if price can actually go above this 38.2 retracement level, right? Then you should be looking at taking a good buy up until I was saying if price goes above here, I'll continue to buy up until this resistance. But another thing you should look out for is this should be your risk zone. This particular zone should be where you shouldn't be. As soon as price gets to any of these places, anywhere here, then you should look out for a sell on this instrument. But for now, as soon as price breaks above this 30.2, continue to buy up until this proven resistance. And if that doesn't happen, then you should just sit back, relax until price retraces back down, then start taking your sell right from this 50.0. But as soon as you realize that in another 19 minutes, this particular candle will close. And if it closes just like this, then the next candle that is forming, if it breaks above this retracement, that's 38.2 Fibonacci retracement level, then continue to buy USD JPY. All right. Moving on swiftly away from USD JPY, let's actually look at some other instruments. Let's look at I think I saw something as regards NZD-USD. Yes, I think NZD-USD is behaving exactly just like Euro-USD. And from my currency strength meter, I think I saw something interesting for NZD. Um, you realize that NZD is the least and it's having just 0%, exactly 0% of strength as against the dollar. And it is evident on the chart, quite evident from what we saw or what we can see at this point in time. So if you look, let's look at what's happening on 4-hour time frame and probably decide the fate of this instrument today. Right. There's been a massive sell-off on this instrument, a massive one. And even if any all right. So what I'm saying in essence is if even if anything is bound to happen for NZD to even change course at this point in time, trust me, it must be with the intervention of probably something strong from the economy. But looking at let me see if there's I don't think there's anything major for NZD from what I read out earlier on Forex Factory. Let's quickly go there and see if there's anything that can possibly salvage or help NZD today. But I really doubt that. Um, Real quick. So from Forex Factory, it's even evident. Let me show us real quick. So from Forex Factory, it is evident nothing can actually help NZD is USD, right? And for the fact that USD will be reporting its unemployment claims, manufacturing PMI, as well as non-farm employment change from NZD. But before that time, even if all this, let's assume, even if all this data comes out negative, right? It means it will be later in the day that NZD would actually be a little bit on the rise. But for now, if I were you, I wouldn't go against what's happening in the market. The trend of NZD USD generally on the 1 hour time frame, it's a downtrend, right? So the next best thing for you to look out for in this case is a continuous sell-off if price can actually break support. If price can break down untested support anywhere from here, so anywhere from this price level, let me just read it out real quick. Let me mark that out for us to see. Anywhere from 0.20, sorry, 0.59820. Anywhere from 0.5 until 0.59500. Continue to sell NZD USD. That if it breaks this untested support, please mark those things. They are very, very important words. So from the zone I marked here, okay. So from this zone, that's from 0.59820 up until 0.59500, anywhere here. This is your entry level. Anywhere within these two prices should be your entry level. Please mark that on your chart. Then you can continue to sell up until this verified support that the price had got into in a long time. And that verified support is around price level 0.58608. For price to be slowing down this much, then price can possibly get to that level. So wait until price falls into this zone. This is your entry zone. The yellow box or the yellow rectangle should be anywhere. You should be entering your sell from. So for NZD USD, start selling as soon as price rides into this trap. Yes, let me call it the trap zone. So as soon as price rides into the trap, start selling NZD USD further down up until you take your profit around this level. Are we together? All right. Now, let's move on into commodities real quick. We're seeing something interesting happening on gold at this point in time on the 1 hour time frame. But yesterday, we actually saw gold appreciate a little bit. Gold actually saw some good level of price movement upwards. That's for the bulls. But for this morning, there's been some further sales to investors at this point in time because of the debt ceiling bill that was passed. That passed the first stage of reading yesterday, right? So it's looking like it is interesting for USD because it's gaining some strength. And that strength, to be honest, is what is affecting gold. People don't longer see gold as attractive. They are now pushing their money into the USD because it is attractive. And it is normal instinct of every human being. It's a normal instinct for every human being. As soon as you see something new that is in the market that is attractive, you tend to focus more on it rather than what you have already at hand. So the same thing is happening to gold. So the only thing that is just restricting price from pushing further down is this verified support on the 1 hour time frame. So if you're going to be buying anything as regards this instrument, yes, I would probably be looking forward more into a buy for gold because we don't know what the dollar might actually come out to portray at the end of today because of the unemployment claims that will be dropping by 1:15 to 1:03 p.m. So if you're the type who is much more, how will I put it now? Um, though the sell is massive, to be honest, the sell is massive. The only thing that can restrict this sell is just this verified support. It's creeping into it. But if you're the type, this should be your sell-off zone. Yes, continue to. Though price had done more than 50%, it had even done 100% of what happened the whole of yesterday to a great extent, right? So it would be advisable you start buying from anywhere here and follow the retracement back up. So you buy when prices are low from the ideal trading rule. When prices are low. So price of gold is low at this point. So I would advise that I start buying as soon as price gets into this yellow box. Let me mark that box again. As soon as price gets to this level, I want to mark that area so we can see. All right. So anywhere from here, I also say we should buy gold because it actually done a good full-time sell-off from all the gains it did practically yesterday. So start buying gold as soon as price gets to 1954.50, even as low as 1949.54. Between these two zones, you can start buying. And if you're the type who is quite familiar with orders or pending orders, you know this is more or less a buy limit. Yes, it's a buy limit at this point in time. Then you can decide to take your profit even at this untested resistance. But advisably, I would say you should take your profit right from where this retracement starts from. This should be your first take profit. That should be around 1966.46. Then you can still further extend your take profit if you're the type who is who still love a whole lot of risk. You can't continue to take your profit before 1972.42. That's 1972.44. Now, one thing that is that is worthy of note, sort of, is that for the fact that dollar is attractive, a whole lot of people have pushed their money into it. It doesn't still remain, it doesn't diminish the value of gold. The only thing it does is it shifts the attention away from gold. Hence the reason why I'm still looking at, okay, fine, there's a possibility of gold still pushing up today. Are you with me? All right. Being that as is may, let's move on real quick. Let's look at oil. Oil. Now, for oil, it's trying to actually experience some sort of a push up because of the reports that we had. That's the production report or the manufacturing report from China yesterday. Price got to a verified support and it's trying to push back up. So if you're going to be doing anything on oil today, I would advise us to actually look out for. Let me look at the trend first. Let me establish a trend on the daily chart. Okay. Minimize this. It's been a downtrend on oil, right? Let me draw this. To the 1 hour and see the trend generally. A possible entry zone. Okay, let me just draw my um let me do my analysis on the 4 hour time frame. I think this is much more clearer. So there's a high chance or a possibility of price crawling back up to test this um trend line. Yes, there's a high chance price goes back up to test this trend line. So let's now look at a possible entry for this instrument at this point in time. So for oil, with the outlook of what and considering the fact that June officially marks the beginning of summer. Yes. Especially for people who go on vacations and rest and the like. So this is the time where oil will be in a good level of demand and prices are expected to actually push up. Though what we're experiencing on the chart at this point in time is some sort of sentimental trades that possibly be decided as a result of um, the news, because a whole lot of people are taking advantage of just the buy from yesterday. Then price actually opened higher today. So don't be deceived with what this candle is doing at this point in time. The zone at which you're still expected to trade is still from here. That's within this range that we have here. This is the zone you're still expected to trade oil for today. So if I were you and I still want to take advantage of oil with what I'm seeing, I'll still be buying oil up until this stone cold resistance. Yes, I'll still stick my neck out for a buy. But before I take that buy, I'll allow price to come back down. So I'll allow price to go back into this zone. So I'll allow price to get as low as this level first before I start buying. I'll allow price to get within the zone of 72.4. Yes, 72.4 to 71.7, 71.71. Anywhere here. As soon as you notice that price has gotten to this way, yes, this could actually be the best decision you make. So if I were you, I would allow price to cripple down into my trap zone. Then as soon as it gets here, I start buying up onto this stone cold resistance. But if you're the type who don't want you to get to this stone cold resistance before you take your profit, why not? You can first of all take your profit here. You can take your first profit at around 73.67. Then if you're the type who still want to extend the take profit, extend it as high as 74.85. But your first take profit should be around 73.67. Right? So let's quickly look at one more instrument before we call it a day. Let's look at D30 real quick. D30. D30 is trying to do almost 50% of what it had done already. So if I were you, without further ado, or without much analysis, let me put it that way. For D30, it has just bounced of a support right from yesterday evening up until this morning. And that same support, there was this initially was a support. If you can see this zone where I have this brown line was initially a support before price tested it, then it turned to a turncoat resistance. And price had actually pushed above that resistance at this point in time. And for indices, it's a very volatile instrument, especially D30. So you can actually take a good look at D30, buy up until price gets to 15,869.4. That's 15,869.4. 15,869.4. That should be your first take profit. Then you can ride it up until you can extend. Let me put it that way. You can extend your take profit to 15,943.3. 15,943.3. Right? So from the outlook of things, and considering the fact that the German economy hasn't been doing greatly well, yes, reasons why we saw this sell-off. But later today, I think we have do you have any news from Europe? Let's quickly check if there's anything from Europe. Let's see. Yes, there's CPI as well as the ECB president speaking. So from 10 a.m., which actually be seen of be experiencing some volatility around this particular area. Are we together? All right. So just have it at the back of your mind that around 10 o'clock, get set and take advantage of the movement of the fundamental news that will be happening from the Eurozone. So you can actually make some money on D30 and other European peers as well. So from Euro GBP, Euro USD, Euro JPY, and the likes. So just be on the lookout and take advantage of those things. So advisably, when this news drop, just try as much as possible to scalp as much as you can and make some good money from the market. Right? So, being that as it may, this is what we would call it a day on this beautiful episode of the Market Review for the 1st of June, 2023. Join us tomorrow again for an interesting and expository market that would give us an idea of what we could possibly do and how we can actually make money in this beautiful market of ours. So I remain my humble self and try as much as possible to make a whole lot of money today and enjoy yourself. Happy new month and enjoy the rest of the month. Bye-bye.